Welcome to Viral Flash News. Today we bring you an in-depth look at major international developments, from the U.S. Israel Alliance's robust stance on Iran and regional security, to a dramatic hostage exchange in Gaza, Secretary Rubio's contentious Middle East tour, and the economic impact of U.S. tariffs on Canada. We also examine the planned sale of F-35 jets to India, raising regional concerns, and the return of deported Indian nationals to Punjab. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced that Israel and the United States are coordinating closely on security issues in Gaza. His remarks followed a meeting with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, during which discussions focused on preventing Iran from acquiring nuclear weapons and countering its regional aggression.
Netanyahu expressed gratitude for Rubio's unequivocal support for Israel's policy, emphasizing the shared strategy needed to maintain the fragile ceasefire with Hamas after 15 months of conflict.
In a related move, the U.S. delivered a shipment of 2,000-pound Mk-84 bombs to Israel after reversing an earlier pause on transfers. This delivery underscores the strong military cooperation between the two nations and supports Israel's defense capabilities amid ongoing ceasefire negotiations.
This coordinated effort illustrates the commitment to regional security and the complex dynamics of Middle Eastern conflicts.
Hamas has released 3 Israeli hostages, Sagui Dekelchen, Sasha Trufanov, and Yair Horn, in exchange for 369 Palestinian prisoners. This marks the 6th exchange under a ceasefire agreement that has been under severe strain.
The exchange comes at a critical moment as tensions in the region escalated and the ceasefire was nearly collapsed. The move has renewed efforts to secure the freedom of all remaining hostages.
U.S. President Donald Trump has voiced support for any decisive action by Israel to secure additional hostages, emphasizing the importance of protecting civilian lives.
International mediators continue working around the clock to preserve the ceasefire and prevent further violence in the region.
U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has launched his Middle East tour in Israel following President Trump's proposal to relocate the Palestinian population in Gaza and redevelop the area under U.S. control.
The proposal has drawn widespread condemnation from Arab leaders who are actively seeking alternative solutions amid concerns over its humanitarian and political implications.
Rubio is set to engage in detailed discussions with Israeli officials, including Prime Minister Netanyahu, to assess the potential outcomes of this controversial plan.
As the fragile ceasefire between Israel and Hamas adds complexity, Arab nations led by Egypt are planning summits to deliberate on a coordinated response.
President Donald Trump recently signed a measure to increase U.S. import tariffs to levels comparable to those imposed by other nations, aiming to protect American industries.
Canadian officials have decried the move, describing the tariffs as an existential threat that could lead to significant job losses and economic instability in Canada.
The tariffs, justified by claims of trade imbalances and minor illegal migration, risk undermining the long-standing economic interdependency between the U.S. and Canada.
Canadian Foreign Minister Melanie Joly has called for collaborative solutions to mitigate these adverse economic effects and preserve vital trade relations.
The United States is preparing to sell advanced F-35 fighter jets to India, a deal aimed at strengthening U.S.-India defense ties and modernizing India's Air Force.
This potential sale has raised alarms in neighboring Pakistan, with officials warning that it could disrupt regional military balance and heighten tensions in South Asia.
If finalized, India will join an exclusive group of nations, including U.S. allies in NATO, Japan, and Israel, authorized to purchase these cutting-edge jets.
Pakistan has urged the U.S. to consider the broader implications for regional peace and stability before finalizing the deal.
A U.S. military plane carrying approximately 119 Indian nationals recently landed in Amritsar, Punjab, marking the second batch of illegal immigrants deported under the Trump administration's immigration crackdown.
The deportees who had entered the United States through irregular channels were met with apprehension by family members and local officials upon arrival.
The mass deportations have ignited a heated political debate in India, as critics question the humanitarian and legal implications of current U.S. immigration policies.
Indian authorities are calling for enhanced bilateral cooperation to dismantle illegal migration networks and address the root causes driving citizens to leave under desperate circumstances. That concludes our comprehensive update on today's international news, covering military alliances, strategic defense deals, economic disputes, and migration challenges.
Thank you for tuning in to Viral Flash News. Please subscribe and like for more in-depth analyses and updates on global affairs.